All right, next up is Gottlieb's Far Out, and another 70s Gottlieb 4-player game. And this is definitely all about that art, I think. You can see our Gottlieb son is reappearing for us here, but just this great composition that Gordon Morrison came up with. Amazing girl that he does in the back glass, which, I mean, I don't know, just about worth it right there. The ladies looking on, and just kind of the composition of this piece of art. Again, just an amazing piece of period art. But the best part is that it's a 4-player game that's fun because there's 10 drop targets to shoot for. And so it's a good drop target game. The kind of backglass theme flows through the rest of the playfield art, and it just comes together nicely. So that is Far Out. Here we have another of the kind of futuristic robot-themed games. You saw Egghead from Gottlieb, and this is later. This is Gottlieb's Magnetron, a 4-player that has very, very cool kind of robot imagery in the back box. Some of it a little abstract, some of it a little bit more specific. But the emergence of robots and computers was definitely weighing upon the minds of the Gottlieb designers, building as they do. And did, actual digital computers. These electromechanical pinball machines were, among the earliest digital computers that were actually exposed to the public. And, that may sound a little bit strange because, why am I calling this a digital computer? But everything that a pinball machine does, an electromechanical pinball machine does, is actually doing it through specific defined digital states. So when you see those scores in the back glass, yes, there are physical reels that move. And each position, of course, is a different score value. And when one gets to 9, then that tells the machine that the next circuit has to be completed to change the next digit over to be 1, 0 instead of 0, 9. So very, very cool, and just a great piece of historical theming on the robot side. We actually have 2 Dogies. It turns out this is Dogies number 2, and like number 1, it is also a German Dogies. Apparently, the Dogies game is very popular in Germany. This one, very nice as well. Here is another one of the classic Bally multiplayers, and this is a Rockmakers. This has some pretty wild art involving the use of dinosaurs in construction projects. And, wherever your feelings are on that subject, I guess we can all understand that it's part of history. Or maybe not. But this is a game that has not only the 4-player setup, but traditional for Bally in these years, the additional reels that score another feature, the Rock-a-Rock score in this case. As you advance that, you get it to a certain level, and you get additional replays. So you can win replays based on score, and you can win replays based on the Rock-a-Rock. This asymmetrical Bally playfield has kind of a familiar inside lane, and when you shoot the initial shot, you get to flip into that lane, which is a little bit different from the other machines. Kind of a foreshadowing of what would be to come. And again, some of the theming carries on into the playfield art as well, and you see that there. And then the central arch where you're making the Rockmakers rollovers, which is kind of the key to the game, is spelling Rockmakers back and forth. But truly an amazing pinball machine, a great piece of pinball machine art. Here we have the 2 versions of the Williams Space Mission and Odyssey. They're the same game, except one is 2-player, one is 4-player. We'll start with the 4-player Space Mission. Again, inspired by our activities in space. You can see kind of the early space station set up in the back glass. Classic pinball machine, very successful machine with a kind of a classic layout. Great spinner on the left side, a swinging target that moves in the center, and the multi-bonus advance in the right, kind of roll around, if you want to call it that. It's definitely a build the bonus game with that center target, and then the famous shots on the left and the right. You can just hold your flipper up and let it do the shooting for you. Maybe not advisable, but it depends on how the game is lined up. This is the Space Odyssey, and this Space Odyssey is gorgeous. There's no doubt about that. Beautiful game. It is, you can see the playfield and all that. Same playfield, same layout, just a 2-player version instead of the 4-player Space Mission. And our second Safari, this one does not have, it has a repainted cabinet, so it doesn't have the side art on it, but otherwise, nice presenting Safari. I'm trying to take a look at that again. You can always happy to look at a Safari. These are beautiful games, cool games to have. Gottlieb's Fire Queen, toward the end of the Gottlieb electromechanical era. Great art with the Fire Queen depicted there, and the very kind of hot theme that carries on into the playfield, for lack of a better term. You see the flames engulfing the bonus advance area and the smoke and the fire. So definitely carry that fire theme all the way out, up and down the game. And again, this one, as you can see when we pan down, 9 drop targets for your shooting pleasure, and at angles, which makes some of them very, very challenging shots, which is one of the reasons, along with the art, that Fire Queen is a very desirable game in the Gottlieb multiplayer series. This row has so many games that are kind of personal favorites to me. This one is one of them again. Sounds like they all are, but I'll tell you that this is the game that really connected me with Christian Marsh's Pointy People art, C-Ray, when I was much younger. And it does an amazing job of the composition. It really kind of takes what Jerry Kelly was thinking and goes one further. In fact, I thought this was a Jerry Kelly game at first, and apparently it is not. So there you go. Shows you that, you know. But I love how, you know, not only as you see what's going up on the playfield with the giant C-Ray, it's almost kind of obscured by the people that are in front of it. And I love that too, because it's a little unclear, you know, what the feelings are of the C-Ray, at least to me. You know, you have the people kind of up front, and he's got the very futuristic weapon to take out the poor C-Ray. So even though the ray's coming at him, it almost looks like he's a little bit concerned, and he certainly has a right to be. The playfield layout is cool too, because there he is again on the art. But you know, it has a left side lane where if you make the top down into the lane, it shoots it up and over. And I'm sorry, that's on this side. I moved my camera the wrong way. Shoots it up and out, and lets you collect bonus. It does not have an end of ball bonus on this game. You have to collect the bonus in that right lane. Up on the left side, if you get it up and down, it just kind of rolls down there and through, and can turn on various features if you make it through that shot. And this is showing you the lower playfield with our scuba diving lady in red and her companion with the futuristic gun above it. And you can see the fish, and for me it was always kind of a poignant comment on the game, because you know, you'd see all the action that was going on in the front. But when you get down to the bottom and the butyrate's there, you see the fish is clearly concerned, and well, I think that just about says it all. So there you go. It's a plea for the conservation of our seas. Well, anyway, it's Bally C-Ray, and it's amazingly cool. Let me see the side art on the game as well. And finally, in this series of Gottlieb EMs, we have a Gottlieb's Card Whiz. Nice, pretty example of a card whiz here. These games were incredibly successful, two-player games, partly because of the lineup of easily understandable drop targets that are there. You know, you're aiming, you can get the colored rollovers in the top, and then you manage to complete the various card suits to build your bonus in the game. And so it was a very instantly understandable pinball machine. It had great card-themed art that was, you know, very clear, and fun game to play, and certainly fun game for the whole family. So just a tremendous title from Gottlieb. And that concludes this series, the 4th series of pinball machines at Captain's Auction. And stay tuned for Series 5 when we start up with the solid state machines again.